mention myself and my business. As Graham said, I'm Mike Dales. I run a small business called Big Pond Scotland. And there's quite a few people here this morning that I've not met before. So in the half hour or so after this, I'll try to meet you. And I'll give you one of my business cards and take one of yours. Big Pond Scotland, why the name? You're more likely to remember it than my own name. But I'm the little fish in the big pond that we call Scotland. And two sides of the business. I run a recreation tourism consultancy business, anyone who's in the sort of tourism sort of area. But I also run a proofreading, copy editing, copywriting service as well. So I get various smaller bits of work on that. Okay, that's basically the business.
Okay, you're off. 20 seconds starts now.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks. This is a story about the benefits of taking regular exercise. Now, I've always been sort of fit and active, and I always used to be going berserk for 3 days a week. But I thought about it about 4 years ago and realised that actually 4 days a week I was being dangerously sedentary. And I've got inspired by, first of all, the 5 times 50 project, which is encouraging people at this time of year, this is actually day 25, to do 5 kilometres of exercise for 50 consecutive days. And I was also inspired by Dr. Andrew Murray, that probably quite often seen on TV. And Andrew Murray quite often retweets information from this chap, Dr. Mike Evans, from Toronto. So I would really recommend following Doc Andrew Murray and Dr. Mike Evans. And the basic message from those two is this. It's very simple. Move more, sit less. And it's really great to be speaking to an audience that is all standing, because that's what it's all about, standing up more. Because the big danger in modern life, I believe, is too much sitting down. There you go, that proves it. And if you think about your day, you've spent 7 or 8 hours lying down, and then you get up and you sit down and have breakfast, then you get in the car, sit down and drive to work. What do you do when you arrive at work? Sorry to any farmers or anything, but for most people, you probably sit down for most of the day. And what do you do when you come home on an evening? You sit down and have tea, then you sit down and watch the television, and the chair's killing you. So my challenge was to keep that 5K a day going for, well, I thought 250 days in a year. But after nearly 3 months, I was finding it easy, so I just upped it, and I just kept going. I was like the Forrest Gump. I thought, let's just go every day. So on the 25th of March 2013, that was day 1 of this non-stop line of days. 19th of December 2015, passed the 1,000 consecutive days mark. I've not been out yet today, but when I do, 1,123. So how do I get out and take exercise and do those 5 kilometres? Well, parkrun's been in the news this week, and parkrun's a great way of doing a 5K run on a Saturday. So basically, I do quite a lot of running, but don't run too much. But the days I really live for, and that is the photograph that really sums me up. That's on Arkle, a mountain in Sutherland in northwest Scotland last summer. And those are the days that I live for, just being in places like that. But also over the last, well, during those 1,000+ days, my partner and I, we cycled from Land's End to John O'Groats in 2013. And in the following year, we did the Irish equivalent and pedalled from Mizzen to Malin. Last year's cycling challenge was slightly easier, slightly shorter anyway. It was just 1 day, the Celeronda bike day in Italy, but fantastic surroundings, brilliant sunshine, 22,000 passionate Italian cyclists, and again, just a fantastic way to get a day's exercise. And by doing this regular exercise every day, rather than having the sedentary days, I'm not picking up the injuries like I used to do. So suddenly I found myself doing full marathons again, like the Brixton Marathon in Italy last summer, which is a marathon, 26 miles, but 8,500 feet of ascent along the way. Those were the good days. For every one of those fantastic days, sunny that you've just seen, there's 20, 25 of these, what I call bread and butter days, just getting out on the bike in all weathers and just whizzing around a circuit from home. But even that, I just try to vary it a little bit each day. I do watch the weather forecast very closely, so I pick the best bit of the day to get out. No problem today there. And I used to have that sort of motivation, that competitive edge to just keep the numbers ticking over to get out each day, and that drives me on. And my answer to everything in life is to set up a spreadsheet. So this is the spreadsheet to monitor our progress. The column on the left is ours, the column on the right is his, and we just try to sort of get the years rattled off, 365 days. My partner's about 85 days behind me, but she's now over the 1,000 days. Now this makes me sound like a sort of human equivalent of a Cocker Spaniel that never sits still. But actually rest, recovery, relaxation are actually very important. And you just can't beat walking for just good, simple exercise. And that's quite often what I do just for the 5K. But as well as exercise, over the last 3 years or so, I stretch much more now, stand much more, and I've always got the water bottle around, because drinking more water is important, especially when you're giving a talk. And it's great to be giving this talk in Stirling, because I think one of the best initiatives that's come out ever is from Stirling, which is the Daily Mile, which you'll have heard about. And that article, forget the advert there, but the article in The Guardian, if you want to Google that, is great. So why don't you join me? Why don't you sort of get on board the sort of regular exercise theme? You don't have to copy the person that inspired you. Just take one of those challenges there. Walk 3 kilometres, 250 days a year. Or run 16 parkruns in a year or whatever. But the basic message is that something is better than nothing. Exercise is the best medicine, as it says there. And think about your daily routine and watch the trends. Standing desks are a bit of a rarity at the moment, but I think in a few years' time, more and more people will be working at standing desks, because that's what it's about, getting off the chair and standing up. And it is unnerving when the slides are out of your control. I think I've just about managed to keep on in sync with them there.
Brilliant.
Okay, thanks.
Brilliant.